Hey all, welcome back to Project Overflow.
Hello.
Hi. Just want to recap. I think the last episode we actually were talking about money management and what are some of the ways to reach our common financial goals, right? So we did discuss about making a plan, and the most important thing is to make sure that we are sowing the seed and eating the bread, and not eating the seed and sowing
the
bread.
bread. Yep.
Okay, so if you missed that episode, do go to the channel and watch that episode, right? So for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. And here we want to discuss financial issues and also ways and means as a Malaysian or Asian here to be able to get ahead with our finances. Okay, so we're not here to give advice per se, but we're here to share information, also our own personal experiences and learning on how we can manage our money better. All right, so today we'd like to continue with the same topic about money management, or how are we to manage the resource that we have based on the earnings that we make, right? So I think the question that came about, let me read the question. We want to thank, obviously, our producer behind the scenes. Thank you so much for helping us with that. So the question is, if my parents does not have insurance and they are too old to purchase one, how do I plan financially to support their old age? Okay, I think that is a fantastic question. Okay, so this question, we wanna categorize it as family slash parents. Okay, so family could include children who are now growing up and going to school. So how do you balance that? I think this is when I was living in New Zealand before, this question wouldn't have come up because they take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, in the next generation rather than the generation before, right? So I think it's rather different here in Asia, or very much in Malaysia anyway. We actually look at both, right? How we can support our parents and also the children that we have. So let's talk about this question: how, if my parents cannot buy insurance anymore, they're too old, or they've got critical illness or whatever, they can't purchase it anymore. So how do we now financially make a plan to support them through to their old age?
Yep.
Yeah.
So in this situation that most of us are aware,
Yeah.
the cost of insurance, or the premium to pay to insure someone who has a critical illness or medical history,
Yeah.
as well as at an old age,
yeah.
would be very high, or some companies won't even touch it, right?
That's right.
So instead of looking at how can I insure my parents now, I guess there's a few strategies that we can look at, which is number one, most of us miss, which is now really work on investing and working on our health.
Yes, you're right. You're right there, right, Zoe? I think you've just struck a chord in me, right? That's something that I've been talking about, for years. A lot of us, number one, we ourselves, okay, if you're listening to this, are you taking care of your health? Right? So a lot of us, I think we neglect that part, and we pass that responsibility to the insurance company.
Yep.
But then you find out that if you've got parents, and if you're asking that question about your parents, and your parents that cannot be insured anymore, then I think that, hey, we all are in the same boat, right? So if you don't take care of your health, when you grow old, you may not be able to be insured. Or if you got some critical illness from bad habits, or not taking care of your health, then you will not be able to be insured anyway.
Yep.
Right? So then what happens? So really take care of your health, right? I think very important as our parents age, there are two things that we need to take care of. Is number one, their sedentary lifestyle. Okay, so we already as adults live quite sedentarily. Okay,
Yeah.
so and what about them, right? So they sit around the entire day watching TV, or how much exercise do they actually do? Because we know that as we age, the muscle mass actually deteriorates and keep going down. So how are we taking care of that? So a lot of us will actually, in Cantonese we say, we buy this traditional medicine, or this herbs and things like that for them, supplements for them, but that still does not negate the need to make sure that we are activating those muscles to keep them strong, right? So the question is, if you want to set up a plan for them, it's not about insuring, it's to take care of them in their old age, is to have them have the ability to move about freely for as long as they can hold themselves up, right? So exercise is a key factor to it.
Yeah, and I guess for us Malaysian, I'm guilty of it as well. We have quite a good life
Yeah.
because based on the choice of food that we have, right, and a lot of health diseases that we face is actually based on our lifestyle,
Yeah.
our, you know, we can eat 24 hours. Okay, before MCO, before the lockdown, we can literally access food 24/7, right? Anytime, anywhere, and the food that we eat is very unhealthy. That's why most of, if you look at Malaysians, the statistic, it shows that most of us actually has diabetes, right?
Yeah.
Diabetes, heart attack, stroke, high cholesterol, and all this. It's all from the food.
That's
and
right.
also our very sedentary lifestyle. Most of the time we sit and drive to work, and then we sit again in office meetings, and also we sit, if you don't drive to work, then you sit in the LRT. So it's very sedentary, and this is the cause of all the medical or health problems that we have. So if your parents is at an old age now, I also understand that it's very difficult to switch that, right? We also have that saying, they're so old already, let them do what they want. But as long as they're still alive, they can move. It's not too late. It's not easy, but it is not too late to help them with that. And also for ourselves, for me, I thanks to Eugene, health is definitely his area. He one thing he said to me that really struck me is we want to live, instead of living long, the longevity is actually, I don't want to live long if I'm going to be bound to a wheelchair or stuck on bed, right? I would want to live long if I can move around and do the things that I want to do without pain.
That's right.
So that really convicted me, because I plan like money, insurance, all okay, all done, but I miss my health, because anything happen to me, then I'll be a burden, and a burden not just to myself, but to my family and maybe to my future children, right? So yeah, I guess health is also
Yeah, I think it's a critical factor. If you look at the diseases today, even in the insurance list of diseases, right, the highest factor is actually non-communicable disease. So what are NC diseases? Okay, non-communicable means it's not communicated. That means it doesn't pass from one person to the next. That means you get it because of your own doing, your lifestyle, right? So we may think that giving 3 meats and a little bit of vegetable every single meal, it's a way to go. It may not be so, right? So I'm not saying you need to go vegan, but you just need to be very careful. Do you actually need that much food all the time?
Yep.
Do you eat 4 meals and 5 meals or 7 meals a day? And in fact, Malaysians, we eat all the time, right?
Yeah, and
every meeting is a meal. It's crazy.
Yeah, and we are pretty big on supplements. We are. Yeah, so all of this we really have to be careful, be vigilant, I guess, be vigilant not to fall into all this marketing gigs and all that just to get us to buy stuff, but really now take an audit, like how we manage we've been talking about managing our finances, right?
Yeah.
So now how do we manage our health as well, because this will contribute. Actually, I feel that this is the biggest factor, because it also, if we're not healthy, then how can we make generate
choices.
income, good choices, and also how can we actually get seeds and sow, right? We need health to do that.
That's right. Yeah, and so if your parents are still well and able, do spend more time with them. Take them for evening walks or morning walks or whatever. Is that a sacrifice? Trust me, the sacrifice of doing that actually is much less than if they were bedridden and you need to take care of them, right? And the cost involved is much more. So if they're still able and you're still able to influence them to do something about it, make sure you do that, okay? Because that is insuring without having to pay a premium. The premium is your effort, right? So do that, because that will also allow you to spend more time with your family members, okay? Your aging parents as well.
Yep.
All right. So, but if today you're in a situation whereby yes, there's already disease that's stricken parents that are unable to now fend for themselves and walk and all that, and now you have the burden. So how do you go about now taking care of that? Zuan, any thoughts on that?
Yes. I guess it's now focusing more on, because now you are the breadwinner, right?
Right.
So it all comes back to managing finances and also your income and your risk. So if I am put in that situation, I will no longer be taking very, very big risks, meaning that I won't be making crazy decisions with my finances.
Right.
So I will be more careful in that. And also what I would do is I will look at, okay, so now how can I plan out or set aside, we're talking about seed, right? How can I set aside seeds now in order to take care of my parents when the time comes? So when the time comes, meaning that looking at, okay, what are the costs involved? If are we going to go private hospitals, what are the options? If we're going to go government hospital, what are the options? And talking about government hospitals, Malaysia, this is something that we are very grateful and privileged to be here. We have one of the best healthcare system out there, and also the cheapest compared to the cost, right? So that's something that I'm really grateful to the Malaysian government and proud to be a citizen here, because that's something that they have handled it well. But then we cannot also just leave it up to the government, right? Even though we have access to that, we can start now. I think the best time is to start now. Have that conversation with our parents. I know it's not easy because we Chinese, right? We cannot talk about death. Then this saying, always touch wood. It's not about that. It's about planning. So I actually had that conversation with my parents, like, okay, look, now you guys are at an old age. What is it going to be, right? Is it going to be, if anything happens, how much is it going to cost? We are planning that out. If it's going to be private or semi-private or fully private or government, what is the arrangement? What choices do we have? And not leaving it out to chances. And then we start setting aside a budget or a fund or something that we can sow into, so that when it happens, we know that amount is there. And also one thing about Malaysian culture, especially the Chinese, dying is a very expensive thing. But we will leave that into the next episode, okay? The next episode. Not this, but that really costs a lot of money, especially if you are Buddhist and superstitious. Then wow, that can really be very, very expensive. So but we'll leave that into the next episode, right?
Okay, coming back to, we talked about the Malaysian healthcare system. Actually, I think a lot, if you don't already know, our Malaysian healthcare system, like what Zul was just mentioning, we actually have one of the best, okay, not just in terms of technology, but also in terms of service, right? So if you have not been to the public healthcare lately and you think it's, back in those days where you need to wait for, 12, 20 hours and all that, it's actually very, very different now. In fact, right, why I prefer the public healthcare system is because the doctors there actually see a whole lot more patients than the ones in the private hospital. In fact, if you logically, if you think about it, right, for a private hospital to have that kind of set up, if the doctors don't do operation, they actually won't make the money back. But in a public healthcare, they actually would find the best way to get you well and not go for an operation, because they've just got so many patients to see, right? So I want you to take that and go and digest that a little bit, right? Or what I'm saying. Okay, I'm not saying that private hospitals are bad. I'm just saying that, hey, do consider, right? So especially those of us who are struggling already, that we didn't prepare for the case of this old age thing, and now you're actually making that preparation. Do actually go search out, consider, and one of the most important thing to do is start for yourself, for your family members, and for your aging parents to start a record in the government hospital system, because that will allow you to have a record on file about their health and their, just their record on their national record that you are in the system actually goes a long way. Okay, so whether you choose a private hospital or not, that doesn't matter. Okay, so give you an example. My mom had contacted with cancer a few years back, and she actually was very blessed to be insured, and so a lot of the cost was actually taken care by the insurance, but the insurance only dealt with that particular time and incident. Once that is done, the follow-up and the health checks and all that are not taken care of. In fact, she cannot be insured anymore
Yep.
for that purpose, right? So, and that's why, strategically, my parents actually went to the public healthcare system and start a record there, which, she's got her own oncologist, she's got, set up in that area if the need should arise later on. Okay, so we're actually doing preparation and not just count on the insurance alone. But that having said that, insurance in itself is also very important, and I think that I think there are actually ways that you can actually purchase insurance. I think personal accidents or different insurance that will still cover your aging parents, but you just need to search a little bit more. Maybe you can share a little bit as well.
Recently I have a friend who is also from the insurance industry. There are actually insurance that is available for old age parents that they have this, so you just have to ask around, shop around, and also make an extra effort, because from the last I heard, there was one company that is offering this. That means we can actually buy it for our parents as gift. As a gift, and they were having this promotion, right, to insure both parents and child at the same time. But to my knowledge, it's only for personal accident, but it's better than nothing, and it's not, and you don't have to pay a very huge premium for that. So because personal accident means anytime your parent has a fall and everything, there is still a sum that is being paid out that can be used for medical expenses.
Yep.
So you can ask around if you have any friends or insurance agent. I guess we all have friends, can ask around and shop around, because different companies will have different policies, and sometimes in Malaysia we always have sale, right? There is some promotion going on, and especially in these pandemic times, a lot of insurance company are actually helping the people as much as they can.
Okay, great. That's a great tip, Zuen. Thank you so much for that. Now, for those of you who are watching, if you've got friends who are insurance agents or who are in that industry, we'd love for them to comment and participate in this question, because I think this question is not just something that the viewer who have asked this question is asking. I think a lot of us are thinking about it, and for those of us who don't know where to go, I think it would be great if we've got friends out there who are watching this particular episode, and if you can comment in the comment section and share your knowledge where people can actually go and find out more, or what are the products out there or services out there that they can or we can all reach out to be able to insure our aging parents, and specifically if they don't have an insurance.
Yep.
Because let me tell you this, right? Every little bit counts when such tragedy strikes. Every little bit counts. Okay, so don't be too careless about it now. Okay, if this is something that you are thinking about now, take action today. I think that's very important. So I just want to summarize as we end this this particular episode. Number one, if you're talking about money management or managing in terms of insurance and healthcare for our aging parents, the first thing to remember to do is to get them active. Okay, get them to walks, take them out, breathe the fresh air, get a little bit of the morning sun if possible. Spend that time, that Sunday or the Saturday morning to take those walks. I know it may be dangerous for some of us in the housing areas whereby it's not gated and guarded. There's robbery and all that. So go to a park, right? So there are a lot of parks out there right now. Of course, during this pandemic, be careful. But I think it's still worthwhile to consider and look for areas where you can take them for walks, because the more they are active, the more cognitive they will be, the less likely they are to actually fall. And even if they do fall, their muscles are actually, and bones, and their bodily structure is strong enough to not be affected that greatly, right? So be careful, definitely not just for them but for yourself as well. Okay, that's number one. Number two is there are opportunities where healthcare does not need to be super expensive, and that's to consider public healthcare or our government hospitals, okay, because they are really great. Start the file in the government hospital system now, all right, for you, for your kids, for anyone who is a citizen of Malaysia. That is not your right but also your privilege. Okay, so this is why you're Malaysian, right? And we have one of the best systems here in the region. So thank you very much, right, Malaysia. We really love you for a lot of things, but very much so for the public healthcare that we have. All right, the last part that we want to mention is there are insurance out there, so do find out more, go and search it out, and if you are here in the industry that you can share some of your knowledge and understanding, do comment below. All right, so if you like this segment, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in our next episode. We'll actually continue with some of this thing with insurance as well, and hopefully we'll be able to bring some experts in or something sometime. If you would like that, do let us know what you would like us to share about regarding this area, right? So we'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.